wanted secrets, and right now I want to do a kind of review, but it's more like a reverses video. A lot of people are referring to the L'Oreal Hip as the dupe for the Blacktrack from MAC, the Fluidline Blacktrack from MAC, and I just want to do a review based upon these two items, what's the pros and cons and which one is better. Obviously, a lot of people are going to say the Blacktrack Fluidline, and I do have to agree that it is better. For one thing, the hip shadow kind of dries out a little bit faster, and I don't think it's worth anything more than just for basics. But just for those who are still curious to want to watch this video and dabble in the unknown, I'm going to do a quick little review for all of you guys. I'm trying to find a brush. There we go. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to see how these work as a liner. So first up, it's the L'Oreal Hip. As you can see, if you can or not, it's black, and I don't like this because it's dried out, so I'm pretty sure it's not going to work really good as a liner, but I'm going to try it anyways. Using a liner brush from Coastal Scents. Taking off my glasses. I would zoom you guys in, but it's not going to work anyway, so. Okay, so that was a little bit unexpected because I didn't think it would make a good liner, but actually, I guess it's not dried out after all. It does make a good liner. I actually like the effect of it. So I think this costs about $8 at Walmart, which is not bad. It's very affordable, and you get a huge pot compared to the little pot that you get with Blacktrack for $15. I got mine from eCrater, from a seller who sold it for $9, and I was really happy because I know how much these things cost in real life from the real seller, so I was excited. Okay, so let's try lining the eyes with the Blacktrack. I have to get a different liner. I'm going to be using this one from Eco Tools, and I like the formula. It's so creamy. Like, time you hit that cream, it's just really soft, like soft butter. But the help, it's not really that soft. It's kind of like more like a paste consistency, and it's more like, I don't know, it's just really different. I like that one. Okay, so this is the Blacktrack. As you can see, it goes on so smooth and so much darker than the hip one. To be honest, I didn't expect a lot from a gel eyeliner, but when I got it, I was like, oh my gosh, I see what everyone is talking about. It is better. Okay, so, I'm not sure if you guys can see my eyes or not, but this eye is a little bit darker. The black is a little bit darker than the hip, and this is the MAC Fluidline. If you guys are more like a drugstore person, or if you're a teenager or something, then I would definitely recommend this because it's not really that bad of a product. You get more for your money, and it's really cheap. The only problem is it does dry out a little bit, but it works great. Okay, so now I'm going to be testing it on how good it is as a base. Okay, so just in case you guys weren't listening, for the liner, for lining the eyes, I say that the MAC Fluidline wins. Now let's try out the base. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Hip first, since it's so much. So I'm going to get my thumb in there. As you can see, it covers that whole thumb with just one dab. And I just put it on my arm. That's how it looks. Now I'm just going to take any shadow. And I have some MAC pigments here that I want to show you guys. This one is in MAC Naval Blue. I'm just going to swatch it on top of that hip pigment. Now I have to say though, you have a certain period of time to get this stuff on before the base dries. If it dries, you will not be able to get it back on. It just stops sticking. So yeah, that's naval blue. It's very cute. I like it. Okay, so that was the L'Oreal hip base. I'm going to be using a different finger. I'm going to get some of the, as you can see, now you can see that it's this one is a little bit darker than this one. That's the Fluidline. And as you can look, it goes on like a grease. If you guys can see it, it just really looks like a grease. Now I'm going to get the same shadow and just dab it on top of that. Okay, so this one is the Fluidline and this one is the hip. Can you guys see it? The Fluidline turned out amazing. Like, so amazing. Okay, so that was it for the shadow test. Now, I would say the Fluidline works better as a primer, but since they come in such a small tube and you don't get a lot, I would say use the hip. But there's one thing about the hip that I really don't like, and that's when you use it as a base, it's very hard to come off. It takes, I put this on my hand earlier, and it took me about 5 times washing my hands because I ran out of makeup wipes. 5 times to get it off, and I still had to scrub my arm. So that's a little bit harder. With the Fluidline, you probably wouldn't have to worry about that, but I haven't checked that yet. But still, L'Oreal hip, it's just really freezes up like that. Now I'm going to take a separate finger. See, there's nothing on here, and I'm going to see which one smudges first. So, once again, this one is the, what is that? The matte paint, the matte Fluidline, and this one is the L'Oreal hip one. So I'm going to go from an angle. Oh geez. For staying power, the L'Oreal hip actually won over the Fluidline. Like, oh my gosh, I did not expect that at all. Like, it's still there, it's still whole. Did you see that? It's still like a swatch. But yet, until the Fluidline, it's like really smudged. Okay, so for liner, the Fluidline wins because it just goes on a little bit darker and it's a little bit easier to work with. For a base, the Fluidline has the greater power when it comes to making the colors show up a little bit more vibrantly. But for staying power, the L'Oreal hip wins. It's up to you guys. There's really like just not really much of a difference because I got mine from eCrater and this was like $9, but I've seen it on there for $8. So you can either get this one or this one for about the same price, except you can't get it from MAC for the same price. So that sums up my review of the L'Oreal hip versus the MAC Fluidline. I hope you guys liked the review, and definitely subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.